Hello, welcome back Math 10. Today we're going to get into our first lesson of measurement. Now, in Canada, we use two different types of measurement. We use the metric system, which is commonly used around the world, or the most common one used around the world, and we use the imperial system, which is used by British and Americans, excluding scientists. Now, there's a reason why we use the metric and why most places around the world use the metric, or we most commonly use the metric. And that's because in the metric system, it's based off the decimal system. So as long as you can shift decimals over, you could do the metric system. Whereas the imperial system is based off of reference, so reference of measurement. Okay, so just to start off, I have a little video here to kind of explain why we tried to push more for the metric, but it was also difficult for us because our close ties with both Britain and the United States. So here's a little video for you guys to look at.
Alright, you ready?
And they still leave.
Yeah. 6 7/8, right? 7 1/4.
Yeah, but see, you can hop curves with this thing.
What's the difference between 6 7/8 and 7 1/4?
3/8.
And 3/8.
3/8.
3/8. Inch and 3/8.
3/8. 6 7/8 to 7 1/4.
6 1/4.
Oh, 6 1/4.
And 6 7/8.
That's totally different than we said.
Yeah, what did you 7 1/8, right?
7 1/8 and 6 1/4. 6 1/4 is 7/8.
6 1/8 and 7 1/4.
6 7/8. That's inch and an eighth.
An inch and what?
An inch and 1/8. Did you say 7 1/8
No, it's
and 6 1/4? 6 1/8 to 7 1/4. No.
Right, so you're right. It's
Oh, he said 6 1/8? I thought you said
6 1/8.
It's changed. Yeah, it changed 4 times. What's the numbers? 6 and a what?
6 1/8.
Check it. The last thing is 7 1/4.
I'm sorry. It's actually 5 5/8.
Wow. And what?
5 5/8.
I'm gonna write this down.
5 5/8 and 7 1/4.
Well, 5 5/8. There's another 3/8 there. 6 1/4. 2 inches minus 3/8.
7 and 7/8.
Should be 5/8. Inch and 5/8. Okay, inch and 5/8.
What is it? I'll write it down and I'll figure it out.
Right here. Well, if it was 5 1/4,
5 1/4, and what was the other one?
It's 5 5/8 to 7 1/4. That would be
5
2
5/8.
inches.
5 1/4, right?
2 inches minus 3/8. Inch and 5/8.
7 1/4.
Yeah. It's 5
So
1/4.
it's 2 inches. It's just a hair under 2 inches.
What are you figuring it out?
7/8. There's an inch and 7/8 difference between the front and the back.
Okay.
I'll buy that. Right? Because it's
No,
7
but it's
1/4 and
5 5/8.
no, 5 and did I say 5 5/8? I'm getting confused now.
It's higher in the front than the back. I thought you said fried eggs. That works.
5 1/2.
5 1/2. Now, come on.
Hey, listen. Here, this is good. What does it say right here?
We're gonna be down in the forest soon.
We're at 5 1/2. 5 1/2. Over here?
Okay.
We're at 7 1/8.
5 1/2 to 7 1/8 is an inch and 5/8.
So, looking at that, now you can probably see why we use the metric system, or we try and use the metric system more, and especially scientists use the metric system. The imperial system has a whole bunch of complications that make it very difficult. Now, looking at this right here, these are some ideas of how the imperial system came to be. So an inch was your average thumb, okay? A yard was described from the distance from his arm to the tips of his fingers, okay? So it's from here to the tips of the fingers, or defined by 1 Roman step. Now the next part was a mile. A mile comes from how far a Roman soldier, or how far the Roman soldiers could march in 20 minutes. A league is how far the Roman army would travel in an hour. Okay, now the foot is about a foot. So then you have other things here, and the measurements have actually changed if you look at it over the years, which makes it even more complicated, depending on who is in charge. So it wasn't very relevant. Then we also have this great metric system coming. So we have kilograms, then hectograms, decagrams, kilo, hecto, deca, then we have deci, centi, and milli. We could either have these in grams, so kilograms, hectograms, decograms, or meters, kilometers, hectometers, or decameters, decimeters, so on and so forth, or liters, okay? So basically a way of remembering this is King Henry danced merrily down country meadows. This is kind of a little acronym for it to help you remember it. So let's make some reference for the metric system. So what approximately is 1 centimeter? Well, 1 centimeter is kind of like your pinky. So it's width of a pinky. Okay? What is 1 decimeter? Which is 10 centimeters, right? Centimeter, we know that one. Deci is 10. We keep on moving the decimal place over 1 all the way through. Okay? So what is 1 decimeter? Well, that's 10 centimeters. That's about the width of my hand, a bit more, from thumb to hand. Okay? So it's my hand width. Okay? What is a reference for a meter? Well, let's think of something for a meter. Can you think of anything for a meter? Well, a meter stick. For me, it's like this, maybe. Right? Meter is about the width of my hands. Okay? It's my span. What about a kilometer? Can you think of a reference for a kilometer? Well, a kilometer I could think is, well, 10 football fields. So it could be many things you can have. Like 10 football fields could be a reference for a kilometer. Okay? So a millimeter. What would be a good reference for a millimeter? Well, a millimeter is the width of your fingernail. Okay? There you go. Now, or a kilometer you can say is almost a block. Now converting imperial units. So 12 inches is the same as 1 foot. 3 feet is the same as 1 yard. 1,760 yards is the same as 1 mile. So here's your example. Megan wants to determine how far away the kindergarten room is to Mr. Fode's classroom in miles. She counts 1,584 feet from the classroom to the kindergarten room. How far is this in miles? Well, I take a look at this. We have this many feet. So first, I'm going to have to convert that feet to yards. So I'm going to go 1,584, and then I'm going to divide that by 3, which will end up giving me 528. Okay? Now we also know there's this many yards in a mile. So now I'm going to have to divide that by 1,760. Okay? And this will give me 0.3 miles. Okay? So first here I had yards, or I had feet. So I divide by feet, and this is per yard, to get yards. Okay? Then here I have yards, and this is how many yards per mile, and that will give me miles, because yards cancel off, this goes on top. Alright? So my next question here is looking at Paige. They say she is 5 feet and 7 inches tall. How tall is she only in feet? How tall is she only in inches? Well, 5'7". So we have 5 feet and 7 inches. Right? Now I want to convert this inches to feet. So we'll go, how many inches are in a foot? 1 foot has 12 inches. So we times it by 1 foot, and that's all over 12 inches. Okay? 1 over 12. To convert this to feet, the inches cancel off. I'm left with 5 foot, 5 and 7/12 of a foot. Put that little dash for foot. Okay? Now let's take a look at my next one. We want to know how tall is she only in inches. Well, I have this 5 feet that I have to get rid of. So I have 5 feet, 5 foot, and we want to get rid of that and put that to inches. So I want to multiply this by 12. This is inches per 1 foot. Okay? What does that give me? This is going to give me 60 inches. And then we have another 7 inches. So I'm going to add 7. 60 plus 7 inches gives me 67 inches. Or I could put the word inches. And that's how we do that. So she has 67 inches, or 5 7/12 of a foot. Okay? So next one here we have LeBron James is 80 inches tall. Convert his height into feet and inches. Well, let's convert his height. So basically, I have 80 inches. And I know 12 feet is equal, or 12 inches is equal to 1 foot. So 1 foot we want divided by 12 inches. So I'm going to multiply this out. So my inches cancel. It's like dividing by inches. So 80 divided by 12 is going to give me 6 and 8 inches. So 6 and 8 inches. Right, feet and inches, so 6 and 8/12 of a foot. Okay, like we have there. Or 6 feet, and this is feet, 6 foot and 8 inches, we could say. Okay, or 6 foot 8 inches. So that's how tall LeBron James is, according to this question. And that's how we do that. So, if you have any questions, don't be afraid to ask. I'll see you tomorrow as we work on these together. Good luck. See you tomorrow.